什麼意思呢？
What does that mean?
頭一里路是你嘅責任，
The first mile is done out of duty.
對佢做啲事 under 羅馬政府嘅路咧，
It's sorry to say that you're under Roman rule, so you're under Roman law.
就呢是你嘅 duty。
So it's your duty to walk the first mile.
但係第二里路
The second mile, however,
唔是責任咯，
it's no longer responsibility.
是聽，
It's out of love.
因為聽你嘅呢嘅第二里路。
Because it's only out of love that will incite you to move to the second mile.
頭一招咧就人嘅真正好嘅新婦，
First chapter we saw two very good daughters-in-law.
一個是 Ruth，
One is Ruth,
一個是俄珥巴。
the other is Orpah.
俄珥巴行了頭一里路，
So Orpah took and walked the first mile.
而要帶老王咪都去猶大嘅所在，
She was willing to go with Naomi back to the land of Judah.
但是行唔了，
But she didn't walk till the end of it.
但是路得嘅第二里路，
And Ruth went farther. She walked the second mile.
而付出更加多，
She expended more.
結果而所得到嘅係更加多。
In fact, the blessing that she gathered in the end was much, much more.
第四就講到兩個人，
So in the fourth chapter, you saw two persons.
這是第一貫嘅親屬，
The first is a kinsman redeemer.
而行了頭一里路，
He walked the first mile.
而講我要贖，
I'm willing to redeem the land.
但是佢冇行第二里路，
But he wasn't willing to walk this second
佢
mile.
冇要坐路得。
He's not willing to marry Ruth.
Boaz 講我要贖，我要錯，
Boaz said, I'm going to redeem the land. I'm going to marry Ruth.
佢行第二里路，結果蒙恩更加多。
He, in fact, took the second mile and was blessed, in fact.
係你知咩？
Brothers and sisters,
行頭一里路嘅人已經冇簡單啦。
walking the first mile, it's not an easy task.
這個世界是管理 right 嘅世界，
So this is a world where people talk about rights.
大家人都有佢家嘅 right。
That person feels he has the right to do so many things.
This is my right。
So he feels entitled to these rights.
幫落呢家嘅管理嘅人已經冇戰罪咯。
It's not easy for someone to give up that right.
我記得咱當間一個兄弟已經離開世界，佢係做什麼？
I remember one brother who passed away, Joseph.
而做什麼最少禮拜嘅時陣，
During the memorial service,
有戰罪佢哋指出嚟講淡薄嘅感受。
there were many brothers and sisters who spoke of his good deeds.
以為教會為佢哋指所付出嘅物價，是咱永遠都會記得。
Things that he has done for the church, they are always memorable for us.
其中一項，
One of them was,
做實常常用呢個車載人嚟教會。
so Joseph would use his own vehicle to bring people to church.
做實唔是戇人，
You know, Joseph is a dumb man.
佢知啊，
He knows.
呢個車啦加借一個人，
So every time he gets one person, an extra person into his car,
呢個車用嘅車油就較多。
so he knows that he knew that he will have to pay more for the gas.
你知喎？
You know that.
所以你明白這樣大致啊？
So you finally understand.
啊，牧師嚟載啩，
So if
牧師嚟載啩，
if the
pastor
pastor came to pick me up,
按道威能嘅順路能
so
嘅，
you probably will say that's so convenient for the pastor to do so.
你又唔使一架嘅300磅，
He didn't realize that he's a 300-pounder.
咦，借你嗰個車，我嘅車度真最油哦。
So the moment he gets into my car, it will consume lots of gas.
人較多，
So if there are more
車較
people
重，
in the car, you know, it will be weightier.
所以搭嘅 gas 係較大力，
So the car will have to expend more gas.
油係
to
較
move.
多。
So it will consume more gas.
做實唔是唔知，
But it's something that Joseph knew, I believe.
你知，
He knew it.
這個人嘅看物價是看你未相信。
I feel that he's, in fact, a very perceptive person.
有一日我甲你去加拿大，
One time we were together in Canada.
你坐我去一間叫做$1 shop，
So we went together to a $1 shop.
你知無？我心內實在佩服伊。
So I really salute this man.
等我看物價嘅時陣，
So when I was looking at the items,
呢個牧師，
then he would tell me,
這個唔通買，
he said, don't buy that
佢哋邊較熟
because it's cheaper in the Philippines.
啊，這個最買，
This one, you
佢
can
哋
buy
邊
it
佢哋唔較貴。
because it's more expensive in the Philippines.
這個唔通買，啊，這個買，
So he
行債啊，
So he knew exactly which item to buy and what not to buy.
這個就眼光，
He speak of perspective.
佢知啊，
He knew.
但是佢願意，
But he's willing to expend.
佢願意開較多，
He's willing to expend more
為咗盡呢個責任，
to
超過呢個責任。
perform his responsibility and go the second mile.
求主幫助咱。
May God help us.
咱唔那是盡咱嘅責任，
Don't just be a person who does things out of duty.
你愛蒙較最恩典，
If you want to be a blessed person.
所以就唔是責任問題，是天嘅問題咯。
This time it's no longer about responsibility, it's a matter of love.
世界無離開三款嘅人，
There are three kinds of people in
第
this
一款
world.
是自私嘅人，
First kind is selfish human being.
只顧家己，未好顧別人，
They just care for themselves and never care for other people.
只愛討別人嘅便宜 ，take advantage from the others，
They just want to take advantage of other
總
people.
是自私自利，顧家己，顧家己，顧家己，
They will just care for their own welfare, care for their own goods.
唔通做呢款嘅人。
Don't ever be a selfish person.
世界有第二款嘅人，
There's a second person.
就是負責任嘅人。
The second kind of person is a responsible person.
你盡家己應該盡嘅責任，
He does everything according to his
即
responsibility.
個未批，即個未批，
This person's not bad.
已經未批。
It's already not
你
bad
想
for
講
a
咩？
person to do that. Come
你
to
照
think
講
about
咪
it.？
你厝內，
In a
你
household,
嗱做老爸，盡了老爸責任，
if you're the father and you do your responsibility as a father,
做老母嘅人較規劃啦。
then it will be easier for the mom as
也
a
最時
housewife.
陣老爸無盡老爸責任，所以老母唔拿做老母，個做老爸。
Because there are many cases where the father doesn't do his responsibilities, so the mother has to be a father and at the same time a mother.
每一個人都是咁，
You know, every case is like that.
你知冇？
You know that.
等你坐 wheelchair 嘅時陣，
When you're in a wheelchair,
當中照 wheelchair 人朗省，
then I know there's something that recurs.
你覺得呢個手是拉有力，
No, you notice that his arms, his hands the grip is stronger
因為坐 wheelchair，
because he's in a wheelchair.
呢個靠無力，
His limbs cannot move.
拉無力，
They get weaker.
結果呢，
But
你
the,
隻手唔拿是手，呢個手就最卡。
but the arm gets stronger. It can even take the place of the limb.
所以你看坐 wheelchair 嘅人，呢個卡呢手真走。
So those people who are in a wheelchair, their hands are very their arms are very strong.
但係真辛苦，呢就 double effort。
But he has to double the effort in order to move the
你
wheelchair.
嗱，每個人盡呢家嘅責任，
If each one does things according to his or her responsibility,
全世界都冇生氣，
then this world will be a very, very different place.
你嘅家庭環境冇生氣，
Your family will be a very different kind
真
of
係教
family.
會環境冇生
The
氣。
church will be a very different one.
第三群嘅人，
The third kind of person.
即係一個關於付出天嘅人，
This is a person willing to expand love.
一個關於嘅第二里路嘅人，
This is a person who is willing to walk the extra mile.
當然冇容易啦，
It's not easy,
但是無理佢這三群嘅人，
but it's classifiable under three kinds of people.
看你是多一群，
What kind of person are you?
付出天嘅人，
A person who loves?
負責任嘅人，
A person who fulfills his duty?
還是自私嘅人。
Or are you a selfish person?
Boaz、
Boaz,
Ruth
Ruth,
都是頭一群嘅人，
they belong to the first category.
難怪這兩個人所蒙嘅恩比別人都較多。
No wonder the blessing that they garnered from God, they are immense.
求主幫助咱，
May God help us.
咁啊，咱對這群嘅人嚟學習，
May we continue to learn from this kind of people.
唔係是為咗你，
Not only for your own sake,
為咗你嘅家家順順，
but also for your son, your grandchildren, and your descendants.
因為你見得看到
Because when they look up to you,
你是什麼群嘅人，
what kind of a person you are,
你見得看清清楚楚。
your children actually know you better.
你是自私嘅人，
If you're a selfish
你
person,
是負責任嘅人，
are you a responsible
還是你
person?
是有天嘅人？
Or are you a person with love?
伊看到，
They know.
伊唔那是看到，
They not only see it,
伊學起來。
they will model after you.
你見得 learn from your example，
So the children learn from your example.
叫做幫助咱。
May God help us.